Fallen in love with the idea of cruising and about to go on your first P&O holiday? Well, here are 27 things that should help you enjoy a great cruise. Check-in at the airport is pretty straightforward. There are usually plenty of P&O staff on hand to help you out, though don't forget to print that tag. Airport transfers, whilst militarily organised, work pretty well. Just follow the instructions and you should be on your cruise ship before you know it. Unlike me, make sure you print off your ship boarding pass. I didn't, however the P&O staff were clearly used to incompetence like mine and helped me out pretty quickly. As soon as you can, take a look around the whole of the ship. If you don't, a few days into your holiday, you'll probably discover a treasure on board that would have made your time all the more enjoyable. If you'd like an early heads up on the P&O AZURA, a video of a complete walk around the public spaces is on a link on the screen now. As of 2023, your best friend on board will be the key card for your door to your cabin. It not only lets you in and out of the cabin, but you also show it around the ship to use services. There is, as I record this, no downloadable app to use on the ship. However, you can create a shortcut on your phone to a web page you can use on board, even if you don't have a Wi-Fi package. With that, you can book specialist dining and other services. In truth, it was a bit clunky when I used it, but I did get things done. You probably thought about buying Wi-Fi and looked at the price and thought, how much? So should you buy it? Now, I'm a heavy user of the internet via my phone, looking at social media, checking on my emails, sports and news. I do the lot. Despite all of that, I would say no. If you think about it, you're ashore a lot on the cruise, so you can use the phone network there. You can also go to public Wi-Fi areas. Added to that, if you're in Europe and have access to the 4G or 5G networks, you'd be quite surprised how far out to sea you still get a signal. If this video is proving helpful, I'd really appreciate your support with the channel by liking this video and hitting the subscribe button. What about drinks packages? Now, I no longer drink a huge amount of alcohol, so I went for the soft drinks package. Was it worth it? Just maybe. I had to drink pretty regularly to get to the level of the money I'd spent on the package. As for the alcohol coffee packages, do the maths. Would you drink that much? Oh, and the other thing is, Coca-Cola is not in the soft drinks package, but Pepsi is. Just saying. Oh, and the tap water in your cabin is drinkable and was not that bad, and it saves you a bit of money. To the food then, and first the Venezia Buffet. It was okay, I suppose, but nothing much to write home about. Oh, and some of your fellow passengers seem to think their hands are so clean they can touch the food. On Deck 6 and Deck 5, the Peninsula and Meridian dining experiences, which are within your package. A quick tip, if you're happy to share with other guests, you'll get seated quicker. And also, you do have a set time in the evening. If you want to change that, talk to the staff and they'll usually help you out. Specialist dining. Should you? Well, yes. I tried 3 in particular and ranked them as follows. The Glass House. The food was good, but I prefer something with a bit more of a kick. The Beach House, a mixture of Caribbean, American and Mexican flavours. Some of the courses come within your deal, others you'll have to pay a little bit more. This steak though was to die for. My favourite, Sindhu. It's so good I tried it twice. P&O seem to be very proud of it, rightly so. Be warned though, book as soon as you can when you get on board, otherwise you may just miss out. Quickly to the other end, toilets. In my cabin, mine got blocked a few times. And no, I didn't do anything wrong, but credit the crew. They did sort it out pretty quickly. Alongside reception, you'll find this area with maps for your next shore visit, a newspaper of sorts, and even things like Sudoku. Critics of cruising say it's full of old people. Well, 1, is that wrong? 2, well, it isn't really. The age range is much larger than you might expect. If you're going on a long cruise, don't feel the need to take lots of clothes. There are laundrettes across the ship that are free to use. The only issue I found was quite a few times machines were out of order. If you want a bit of me time with a quiet swim or a sit in a hot tub, try the Oasis late in the day, say 5:30 or after. I often found myself there alone or with only a handful of people. Excursions. So are they worth the cost? Well, yes, depending on what you want from them. You can do things cheaper, but remember, if you get back late under your own steam, you may just find the ship has left you behind. Like joining and leaving the ship, you may also find it a bit impersonal. The truth about the excursions are that in most cases they can only, because of time, give you a flavour of a place that you're going to. There are individual videos of my shore trips on a playlist on this channel, and there is a link to that on the screen now. But from my cruise, my top 3 excursions were visiting Rome and the Colosseum, a true bucket list moment. However, 6 hours in Rome in blazing heat was nowhere near enough time. Pompeii. I suppose you're getting the theme here, but seeing a Roman city, warts and all, was a real highlight of my time on the cruise. To my surprise, number 1, Dubrovnik. It truly exceeded all I'd hoped for, despite the heat and the number of people there. And whether you're on a cruise ship or travelling yourself, I really would recommend going to Dubrovnik. Oh, and if you're a Game of Thrones fan, you can see lots of the places used in the TV series. Have you any tips to add about going on a P&O cruise? Let me know in the comment section. So what about doing your own thing? Well, I did that twice in Malta and Corsica and had a fantastic time. I had a plan, and I'd recommend you do the same to make the most of your short time ashore. Leaving port is a special moment on any cruise. You can enjoy it in several different ways. If you have a balcony for your cabin, well, perfect. However, if you have an inside cabin, or like me, a cabin with a window, you might want to try something different. This from Malta is a good example, going to the top of the ship and looking out. You can also go onto the promenade deck and have a good view from there, or maybe take a meal at Sindu. And here's a good example of one that I did, as I could watch Naples disappear as I had my meal. I actually have a favourite sail away from my cruise. Fair play to the crew on the Azura for their 3-point turn on a huge ship in Livorno. But what a sunset we got. While I'm at it, shout out to the captain and crew. Our captain was excellent and his humorous messages were a highlight. I generally found the crew helpful in ironing out issues. There are a couple of black tie nights during the cruise. Now look, it's not my thing, and if it's not your thing too, rest assured there are other places you can go on board the ship that night. There are a succession of bars across the ship to chill at. My favourite at night was Breakers, because it was a great place for stargazing. While I didn't come on the cruise ship to watch TV, I found the reception and selection of channels in my cabin pretty poor. There is a large theatre, the Playhouse, at the front of the Azura. On my cruise, it was largely tribute acts performing. Not really my sort of thing, but most of the audience seemed to enjoy it. Leaving the ship was like arriving, a military affair. You leave your case outside the night before and collect it at your home airport. The whole process was well handled, with lots of staff on hand to guide you in the right direction. So is a cruise and a cruise on the Azura with P&O worth it? Yes, with some caveats. If you like doing your own thing, it is possible, but you will feel a little restricted. You're never truly a master of your own destiny. The ship itself, in the summer of 2023, felt a little tired and in need of a reboot in some of the public areas. However, if cruising is new to you, what it gives you is this: a hotel room for a week or two with food and entertainment on hand that takes you to a string of fascinating places. If you'd like to see more detail from my time aboard the Azura, a link to a playlist of videos is on the screen now.